Hello family, welcome back to Kate Crochet, and today we are working on a crop top. Alright, we are beginning another series of our tops. So today we are working on a crop top, just a simple one, and I'm working on one already. So I thought, why not work this with you, because guys, you've been just amazing. So first, I would like to thank you all for the journey that we've been together. You've been amazing, as in you've been the most wonderful guys I've met here. So I'd like to say a big thank you because of your support. We've managed to 4K hours and 1,000 subscribers, and finally you can see her ads. So now guys, please don't skip ads, just allow them to run and then we continue with the thing. All right, so now to our today's video. This is it, not yet done though, but the materials that we need to do these are yarn. I'm going to use red to demonstrate this, how I got here. We also need a hook. I'm using 3.5. I'm not sure if you can see this. I know it's not visible. We need a pair of scissors, a tape measure, and maybe some stitch markers. So we shall be picking them from here. Yeah, so now to do this, you need to take measurements. If you're doing it for yourself, I would advise that you do the measurements not to your bust and not to your waist, but just immediately after your boobs. Okay, so guys, we are going to start. For this one, I did 65 centimeters long. So I did one long chain and then slip stitch together. All right, so you can imagine this one, before I slip stitch all the way, it was that long. So without much talking, let's get to it. So we make a slip knot and we start by making a chain which is 65 centimeters long. All right, I can't give an exact number because you know stitches do vary. Your stitches might not be like mine. Some people do make long stitches, others short. Again, the type of yarn you are using, the size of hook. So if I give you a certain number of stitches, it might not work for you. So to be on safe side, I mostly give measurements. If you've realized, in many of my videos, I usually do measurements but not stitches, unless it's something that cannot be changed. If it's that number of stitches, it is that number of stitches. But for this, we need to make a chain which is 65 centimeters long. So continue making that and I meet you. So here is my chain, a long one. So now I want to slip stitch to the beginning chain. So I want to make sure that that chain is not twisted. Okay, so you just go, ensuring that you're not twisting the chain, and where it is twisted, make sure that it lies flat. Okay, so once you get to the end, you slip stitch there. Okay, so after slip stitching, we chain one and in the next stitch we make a single crochet, in the next single crochet, and single crochet all to the end of this row. So continue doing single crochets until you get to the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row, so now we slip stitch on the chain one that we did as we were starting the row. Okay, and so now it is all round. Okay, so now we chain 2, and in the next stitch we do a double crochet in the next, and we double crochet all through to the end of the row. All right, so double crochet until you get to this other side. I'm at the end here, so now we are going to slip stitch, and we are going to skip the first 2 chains and slip stitch on top of the first double crochet, so that we do not want any space to be left here. So to do that, we need to slip stitch on top of the first double crochet, and it just completes that. All right, so now we chain 1, and we are going to single crochet all the way to the end. You can put a stitch marker here on the first on the chain, so that you do not confuse that. So the next time we shall be getting back, we shall be slip stitching on that point. So now we single crochet all the way to the end, and once we get to the stitch marker, now we begin the stitch of this crop top. All right, so continue doing single crochet until we get here. So I'm at the end of the row, and where we have the slip stitch, I will remove it. Sorry, where I have the stitch marker, I remove it and I slip stitch. And that row is done. So now we chain 2, we put our stitch marker, and now we start doing the stitch. It's called the Alpine stitch. This color is not showing as it is, sorry. It is luminous green, and I tell you guys, it's very cute. I don't know why my camera is not showing it as it is, but I link a photo of how it looks like. So we are doing Alpine stitch, and we've already done this before. So there are 2 ways to do Alpine. I'm going to demonstrate both, but we are going to use only one. So the first one is you yarn over twice, 1 and 2, and you go down below the single crochet, you go down to the double crochets and work a front post. Okay, in the next stitch we work a normal double crochet. In the next stitch we yarn over twice and skip the next double crochet here and go to the next and work a front post double crochet there. That is one way of yarning over twice, which I said we've already done in a previous video. So the second one is just working normal double crochets and normal front posts without yarning twice. So we yarn over once and work a front post on the first double crochet. Remember, we are going below the single crochets, the row before single crochets. So we work a front post there, and in the next stitch we work a double crochet, just a normal one. So we skip this double crochet here and in the next we work a front post double crochet, just yarning over once. In the next stitch we work a normal double crochet on the single crochets now. Alright, we skip this double crochet here, we go to the next and we work a front post. Alright, in the next stitch on the single crochet we work a normal double crochet. We skip this double crochet because of the one that we've just done on top of it, and in the next we work a front post double crochet, and we keep alternating this to the end of the row. We work a double crochet like now, we skip this double crochet because of the one on top of it, and in the next we work a front post double crochet. Alright, so continue doing this until you get to the other side. I've come to the end of the row and I've finished with one front post double crochet. So now we need to slip stitch on the first double crochet, not on the chain, but on the first front post double crochet. On top of it we slip stitch, so that now the chain stitch serves as a stitch also. We don't want a gap between stitches, so we remove our stitch marker and chain one, we mark again, and so in this row we work single crochets all through, just a row of single crochets. You single crochet all the way to the end of this row. Alright, I'm at the end of the row, so I remove the stitch marker and I slip stitch. Alright, so this is how it's coming. So we want to go to the next row. We make a chain of 2, and now on the first row where we did the alternating stitches, the first stitch was a front post. Alright, so now we are going to do a normal double crochet on top of that, and the next one was a normal double crochet, so we are going to work a front post on it. So we work a front post to the next. When we go down it was a front post, so we work a double crochet on top of it, just a normal double crochet. To the next was a front post, we work a front post. The next was a normal double crochet, so we work a front post. In the next we work a normal double crochet. To the next, when we go down we work a front post, and we also continue alternating this until we get to the end of the row. Where there are front posts we work normal double crochets, and where we worked the double crochets we now work front posts. Alright, so keep going, keep doing this until we get to the other side. At the end of the row we slip stitch on the first double crochet on top of it. So we chain one and we go to the next row, and this row is a row of single crochets. So we just single crochet to the end, and you realize we are now just repeating 2 rows, 1 single crochets, and the other one is where we are forming the alpine stitch, where we are alternating stitches, front posts and double crochets. So we work single crochets on this row, and when we come to the end here we slip stitch, and now again we start the alpine stitch, where now we will start with a double crochet on top of the front post, and where we worked a normal double crochet we work a front post and alternate that to the end. So we are going to repeat this for several rows, and this is according to your desired size, that is from here to here. So for this one I'm still working on it. Work yours as I work mine, and when we meet everyone should have their desired size. Okay, remember this is a crop top, so you continue doing this, doing that, and I will be back to tell you how many rows or how long I did it. So thank you so much. For now, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and remember to share, yes, and give it a thumbs up. See you later.
A few moments later.
So I finished the size that I wanted, and I did let us measure so that we can know. For the alpine stitch, from the starting point to where I reached, it's about 20 inches, and then I introduced another color. This is jungle green, so I did 2 rows of single crochet, another 1 row of the main color, and 2 rows of jungle green. So now it is 23 inches. All right, it's 23. So now I've reached the size that I want, and I would like us to do the straps. We are going to do 4, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. So this one is going to be tying with this one across the shoulder, and also the other set. So now I'm going to change hook to 2.5. So now we go doing single crochets. So this is the the slip stitch point. So I just continue doing single crochets until I reach the stitch marker. Sorry, I've not told you about the stitch markers. So this is the front, and I just measured 3 inches from one corner, and the same to the back, and the same to the other side. So this depends on the size of the person you're making for, yeah, or simply you can just measure the nipple points. All right, the nipple points, and you just do the straps using that measurements. So let's do single crochets, and when we get to the stitch marker we are going to make a long chain. You can make it as long as you want. So now we've reached the stitch marker, so now we make a chain. So I'm not going to count, I'm just making a rough random chain. So I'll be back with the, so here is my chain, which is I wanted to make it to be 40 centimeters, so we make it 40, right? We make it 40, which is equivalent to 15.5 inches. So now we are going to be working coming back. So we work single crochets coming back to the top, right? So you just do single crochets coming back to the top. So continue doing single crochets, and I meet you when you get back to the stitch marker. Once again, I'm back at the stitch marker, so I remove it and I work a slip stitch on the same point. So I slip stitch, and this is it. Okay, so we continue doing our single crochets, and when we get to the other stitch marker, we do the same. We make a chain 40 centimeters long. We do single crochets on the chain just as we did here, and when we get back to the stitch marker, we slip stitch, and we continue until we get to the other stitch marker. I'm at the stitch marker. I work one single and I make a chain which is 40 centimeters long or 15.5 inches. So here is my chain of 40 centimeters, and we skip the first chain, and to the next we make a single crochet, and we continue making single crochets until we get back to the stitch marker. And when we get there, we slip stitch on the stitch marker as we did on the other side, and then we continue doing single crochets, and when we get to the other stitch marker, make a chain 40 centimeters long, come back making single crochets, slip stitch, again single crochets. When you get here, make another chain, come back to the work, making single crochets, and you do that until we get to the point where we started, where we're going to make a slip stitch. I did my 4 straps. Yeah, so this one goes with this. You just tie to your desired size. Okay, the other one also. Yeah, and this is how it looks. I also did 2 rows of this other color down here, so that it is a bit tighter. Yeah, and this is it for this crop top. If this video was helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you've not subscribed. Give this video a comment, okay? And please share with your friends and family. Thank you so much, and goodbye for now.